Welcome to Bay Rats and Buoys with your host, Captain Gaige.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Bay Rats and Buoys. I am your host, Captain Gaige, and I am super excited to be here for this first official episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. This is going to be a ton of fun. Guys, I'm sitting on my boat right now in the marina. It is the last day of summer 2024. The autumnal equinox is tomorrow. The first day of autumn is Sunday, September 22nd. I think it's like 8:34 a.m. and it is worldwide. So that is so cool. Tomorrow is the first day of fall, and in the boating and fishing industry, it's very exciting because the fall run begins now. So this is when the water temperature drops and the fish start to move. And I mean, it's already teeming with life out there. There is so much life in the water. But it's so cool that I'm sitting down here for the last day of summer on my boat. I'm going to do as many episodes as I can on location, whether it be on my boat or on somebody else's boat, if they're going to be a guest on the show, if they have a boat. But I'm going to try to do as many as I can on location until the winter time comes around. Then I'll be doing them from my studio. So I'll explain you a little more about that as we go along here, and tell you how I came up with Bay Rats and Buoys. Okay, this is totally unscripted. I'm not editing anything if I make a mistake. This is all off the cuff. Okay, so Bay Rats and Buoys came about because I am a full-time commercial tow captain, 5 days a week from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. In fact, I'm captain on call right now. So if a call comes in and I got to grab my phone, I may be running out to a call, or if we're listening right now to VHF radio, if we get something that comes in over Channel 16, I'm the guy that may have to go out and handle it. So we're prepared for that. But that's what I do full time. And before I come into my shift for tow captain, I'm usually chartering my boat, sandcitycharter.com. I fish up to 7 days a week. There are some days we're out here 7 days a week, like tomorrow morning. We'll be out there looking for the striped bass from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then I come back to the dock. My mate and I will get the boat cleaned up, ready for the next trip. And I jump onto the towboat, and I'm a commercial tow captain. So for me, I'm on the water 7 days a week, and I live to be on the water. So I'm super passionate about this, guys. Right now, the wind is blowing about 12 miles an hour out of the northeast, gusting up to 21. And I'm going to see how that affects on the microphone here. I do have a pop filter as a windscreen for the microphone. And during the wintertime, I'm an audio engineer. So doing this and recording with the GoPro and the audio, this is something this is second nature to me. It's very easy for me to do. So that's why I'm able to sit on my boat and do a podcast from on my boat. It's a 23-foot center console. It's got an 8-foot, 11-inch beam, so it is a pretty roomy 23-foot boat. We like to fish 1 to 4 people. Last weekend we took out a family of 6, so when there's 3 kids and 3 adults, it's perfect for bottom fishing and whatnot. But tomorrow we'll be going out for striped bass. And the water here is teeming with life. You hear the fire whistle going off. I am outdoors. These are things that are out of my control. And boats are zipping by. And it's just a beautiful time of the year to be down here in the marina. Anybody that has a boat knows exactly what I'm talking about. There are no bugs here right now, which is kind of cool. Not like in the summertime when those gnats come out in the evening. So we don't have any green flies where I am. I know a lot of you guys on the South Shore know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the green fly situation. So this time of the year, the fish are jumping out of the water. The birds, you get out there, it might look like something out of Jurassic Park. The birds are everywhere. Hundreds of birds, fish jumping out of the water. Last Friday, a pod of dolphins swam by us, and it looked like, I do a fishing report. In the fishing report, I said it looked like cows and calves. So it looked like a lot of moms with their little kids as far as the dolphin were concerned. And during the show, during these episodes, I'm going to pass on some advice and some tips and things you may not know, and some of you may be know-it-alls. I am not a know-it-all. I'm always learning, and I'm like a sponge. I love to learn new stuff every day. If you do see dolphin out there, and this goes for all different kinds of mammals, there's different restrictions. So the federal law requires us to stay 50 yards away from the dolphin. So it's much better if you want to get close enough, keep your distance, stay more than 50 yards away, and use your phone to zoom in if you want to shoot any video, which is what I did in last week's fishing report. So if you want to see the fishing, the dolphin that swam by, go check out the report at sandcitycharter.com. Every week I do a fishing report. I do a video for the Fisherman magazine for the Long Island Metro edition. I fish out of Huntington Harbor, and which is here on the North Shore of Long Island. And we love living here on the island. We're here on Long Island. We're surrounded by water. And I'm an Aquarian. I'm an Aquarius. So I'm definitely drawn to the water. And there's just something about it. I love being on the water 7 days a week. So from April 15th to November 15th, I'm here on the water. So that's where Bay Rats and Buoys came into play. And being able to record audio from a boat, that's pretty easy for me. The GoPro, there's no production crew here. It's me, my microphone, the soundboard, and a GoPro. And so for me, it's pretty simple. For other people, this may sound like it's a difficult task. So that's how this came about and why I'm doing it. But there's so many things to talk about. So if you're into boating or you're into fishing, we're going to have something here on the show for you to hopefully take away some advice, maybe learn something, and maybe you'll be able to chime in. I am going to put a number out there you'll be able to call. I'll be able to put your phone call right into the soundboard, and we'll be able to communicate with dialogue so everybody can hear what we're talking about. And so that's going to be fun, too, not just having the guests that I'm going to have on, the captains and all the different fishermen and the people that are in the maritime industry. So if you do anything on the water, there's a good chance in my area that I've already invited you onto the show or at least told you about it and set up some dates with people because I'm going to try to do it on location up until the wintertime. In the wintertime, I'm going to be in my recording studio. So I'll be in the recording studio during the winter and the cold months. But that doesn't mean we're not fishing. So we're going to be out there on the river fly fishing. Okay, we're going to head down south. We're going to do bonefish. We're going to head down to Florida. We have a bucket list of different species that we want to catch in Panama and Costa Rica, all over the world. And we're going to take you guys with us. We're going to do the podcast from there and let you share in on some of the experiences that we have. And I'm going to do the same thing here on the water. I'm going to bring you out there with me and let you see what's going on out there. So as a commercial tow captain, I get to see and hear a lot more. I mean, I'm monitoring VHF Channel 16 almost 7 days a week. So let's just say full-time, I'm definitely doing it 5 days a week. Whether I take a day or two off to spend with the kids and the family, most of the time the kids like to come out fishing as well. So if we get them away from the Xbox, well, in this case it's different, but we try to replace the Xbox with a tackle box and get the kids outdoors and enjoy some fun. So we love having kids on the boat, whether it's my kids or somebody else's kids. It's great to get the kids out there and teach them our passion for fishing, our passion for boating, and we like to pass that on. So I'm super passionate about this, guys. And hopefully you sense that. You're going to realize, holy cow, this guy's, he's a nut. He's on the water all day, every day. Can't get enough of it from early morning until it's dark out. And it's seasonal here. It's April to November, and then it gets a little chilly out there. But once that water temperature drops, like now, this is the time of the year. It's already on a decline. Last week it was 75, 74. Now it's 73, 72. These cooler nights that are hitting 55 degrees. And, October 11th is an exciting time of the year for people that like to fish because the blackfish season opens on October 11th. This guy's out now prospecting, getting on some decent-sized fish, getting on keepers, and checking out their, fish holes and their spots out there. Because that's an exciting time of the year. But for us, there's nothing greater than the striped bass fall run on my fishing charters. We have an absolute ball. We've been on the fish since April 15th. and we just can't wait. So tomorrow morning, I'm very excited to get back out there with one of our repeat customers, and we're going to be hunting the striped bass, so that's a lot of fun. Last week, we were hunting the false albacore and the Spanish mackerel. We did get into the Spanish max. It just so happens to be in the hours that we were out there, we didn't come across or see any of the false albacore. Doesn't mean that they weren't there, just means we didn't see them and we didn't get them. But we did get the Spanish max, and while we were doing that, the birds were working. The cocktail blues were everywhere. There were bluefish as far as the eye could see, just blowing up. The video from last week, you could see it all. So you see the fish literally jumping out of the water. So this time of the year, that's what's so exciting about going out there. You go out there one day, and there's hundreds of birds, and like I said, it looks like something out of Jurassic Park. Or you get out there now, and you go out, and you got the wrong tide and a little bit of wind out of the wrong direction, and there's nothing. It just seems like another boating day out there. So that's what's so different and so great about being out there every day. I get to see the different conditions. I get to work through the different conditions, the different winds, the tide cycles, the moon, everything that comes into effect in our, maritime industry as a whole, because it's the boaters too. It's not just fishing guys. There's guys out there that, captains and run boats. And so the tide matters. The wind matters. Docking, getting the boat back into a slip when, it's blowing 25. It's a challenge, especially when you have a sedan or a fly bridge that the wind is going to catch. Controlling the lower part of the boat a lot of times is easier with today's technology. But when that wind really catches you up high, it moves the boat. And as a commercial tow captain, I know I got to put in some, 60-foot carvers back in their slip, big boats. And you got to know what the wind is doing. And the current. The currents do rip through harbors. You want to go to the Housatonic and see the 5-6 mile an hour current that's ripping through that river. Any of the rivers, there's always a bigger current. In the harbors, the water really rips through here. So just docking your boat can be a challenge sometimes. So it's all these little things that come into play. And the weather is a big role. And look, it's blowing 11, and I'm down here sitting on my boat recording a podcast. So I'm willing to face those weather obstacles and try different things. So I think that's what's so great about coming down to the boat every day is you see different things. It's never the same. Today is not going to be anything like it was tomorrow, and vice versa. So that's why going out there, if you listen to the weatherman, you may never go on your boat. That's the bottom line. So if you don't listen to the weatherman, as a captain, it's important for us to really be honed in on the weather and know what it's doing. Know when it's safe, know when it's dangerous out there. And, as a commercial tow captain, people take chances out there. And maybe they're out there on a day they shouldn't be out there, and they break down, and I'm the guy that's got to go out in 5-6 foot seas and bring them back. And that happens all too often. It happens every week. And so we got a ton of great stories to tell you. We're not going to shame anybody, on the boat fails and the things that this individual did wrong. We're not going to shame them. But we are going to tell you the whole story of how it happened, how it got rectified, and maybe we could all take away some advice and some learning experiences from their experience so that in the future it doesn't happen to you and me. And, that's why I love doing what I do, because I do learn stuff every day of why boats sink and how it sunk and what made it sink. And, hopefully that keeps me and my boat from sinking, which is, it's very possible. It happens to a lot of people. And a lot of times it's human error. So, and it's not always human error, but things do happen mechanically, and, people do make mistakes. So that's what Bay Rats and Buoys, that is Bay Rats and Buoys in a nutshell. So whether you're inshore, near shore, offshore, it doesn't matter what kind of boating experience you have. You might be the saltiest guy in your group. I mean, my phone, I'm in a ton of captains groups with real salty captains, like guys that teach people on the King's Pointer, like you saw in my trailer video. Captain Derek Schubert from the King's Pointer. And people that drive big, giant boats out to the Hudson Canyon and go tuna fishing every week. When I say giant, those people driving, a big boat around here is a 65-foot Viking. You got a 65-foot Viking, you got a pretty big boat. A lot of guys have 38-foot boats. That's, real common size for a lot of my friends to have boats with, quad screws on the back and run out. The technology these days, it's incredible. If you got a chance to shoot to any of the boat shows this week over in Norwalk, the boat show is right across the Sound, and a lot of guys are shooting across in their boats. And the technology, the new technology on all these engines. Now they have single engines with joysticks that control, and just a lower unit turns. Now you got electric motors. So the industry in a whole is always growing and changing. And when you have a boat, and if you spell boat BOAT, it means break out another 1,000. It's very true. Boating is expensive, and no matter what size boat you have, everybody always wants bigger. They want more. If you got a 38, you want the 42. If you have the 42, you want the 48. I have a 23-foot center console with an 8-foot 11-inch beam, so it's a roomy center console. But of course, I'm looking at bigger boats. I want to grow. And so that's the boating industry. And the technology is just, the evolution of the technology is incredible and where it's going. So you kind of think of all the people in the past and the Vikings and the pirate ships and, bring up Columbus or, any of the guys that sailed pre-technology, how they did it is absolutely incredible. So nowadays, I'm going to pass on an app to you guys to download and use that I don't think I could live without as far as fishing and commercial tow captain. I don't think I could live without Navionics. I'll be honest with you. It's a great app, and I use it to the fullest extent. I know how to use it. To see the ledges for fishing, to see the fish holes. When you hit the rocks and I got to come in and get you off the rocks, I use that app to see where the rocks are, and I navigate through the rocks to come get you. So if you had that app and you were using it, you too could have navigated through the rocks and hopefully not, knocked your lower unit off or done some fun things. But we're not going to shame individual people, but I will tell you some fun stories, and we're going to have some fun guys on here, and we are going to do nothing but laugh. There's been some boating trips where I come back and my abs hurt. You ever have that happen where your ribs and your abs actually hurt from the amount of laughter that you did, that it was, just unbelievable. So I'm going to pass that on. We're going to have some guys on here and I'm going to be able to show you some videos. That's what's cool about being able to record this with a video, that it's not just an audio podcast. You actually get to see me, and you see me talking to you, and I can show you some of the things. I could also tell you to go to sandcitycharter.com and, reference a video that you can go see what I'm talking about. And, check us out on social media and see some of the things that we post. So boating and fishing is really Bay Rats and Buoys in a nutshell. That's really what we're going to cover. We're going to cover the entire industry. Soup to nuts, no script, no holds barred. We're going to say anything. We're going to make you laugh. We may even make you cry. But we're definitely going to make you laugh a lot more. But the laughing may lead to crying. There's no guarantees. So if you get a chance, check out sandcitycharter.com. Check out the website. Check out the different things that are there. I work on that on a daily basis. I update that daily. Appreciate it if you subscribe to the RSS feed. We are going to grow this organically. We are starting from the ground up, just like I did with my charter business. It's in its third year, and I do everything from the ground up, and we're going to grow this totally organically. So we're going to build this audience. We're going to have a lot of fun doing it. I greatly appreciate everybody that listens, everybody that laughs with us. We're going to have some fun. I promise you that. And in the meantime, if you're going to be at any of the fishing shows, keep an eye out for us. You're going to see me and Corey walking around. Say hello. Introduce yourselves. Don't be shy. If you're on Facebook in any of the Facebook groups, hit me up with a friend request. There's a good chance you have some salty stories to tell too, and I'd be happy to get you on the podcast. So this isn't just limited to my realm and my wheelhouse of people that I'm in. I'm going to extend this worldwide. We're going worldwide, baby, intergalactic, and which is what we like to say at the tow company. So we are intergalactic, that is for sure. People know us worldwide, and we love it. And that's what's so fun about the internet. So if you do get it to, give a friend request or drop a DM or hit us up on Instagram or TikTok. We're going to be doing some cool TikTok live videos and going live when we're not doing the podcast. So we're really going to grow this audience and have a lot of fun doing it. So join us. Come have some fun. I welcome you aboard. obviously, you're welcome to come on my boat anytime that you can. Just check out sandcitycharter.com. If you want to come hang out and go fishing, let us know. We'd be happy to get you out there. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to take you on the towboat. That's due to insurance purposes. But we are going to have a lot of fun. And this is the last day of summer. I'm down here on my boat in the marina, and I think this is just a great way to kick it off. I hope you agree. I hope you enjoyed. This was just going to be a short introduction episode of what it's going to be like and the dialogue that we're going to have back and forth with other captains and other fishermen. It's going to be this simple, nothing crazy. We're not going to be yelling and screaming into a microphone, but we are going to have a lot of fun. I can promise you that. And I thank you for listening to this episode. I really do. Greatly appreciate it. And hopefully you'll subscribe to the RSS feed wherever you get your podcasts. You could just Google Bay Rats and Buoys, or you could go check it out at iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. You could type it in and check it out. And so I'm going to close out today's show the same way I close out my fishing report, by telling everybody, wishing you bent rods, tight lines, and I'll see you out on the water. We'll see you soon, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. Be sure to visit sandcitycharter.com and follow Captain Gaige on all our social media channels.